Yeah, let's rock and roll. And I'd no sooner gotten up here and went to reach for my backup pack of cigarettes and realized I was down to my last cigarette. So I just had to do another 1,000 feet round trip. Actually, my legs were up to it. But then I kind of exhausted my oxygen supply. I want to mention this in case he's. Uh, anyway, as I went inside the store, the people were clearing. One girl was kind of giving me the stink eye, like she's been watching my channel and she don't like it. She's one of the Karens around here, little bitty tiny woman, about 5 foot nothing, and she was like with her mom, who was like 5'2", and her brother who was like 4'11" or something. Anyway, and there's a nice, sharply, neatly dressed, nothing extravagant, neatly dressed man, and I began chatting with him. I've got my earphones in, so at first I'm going like, because we're discussing the buzz balls, the corn-based liquor display. It's right there, kind of blocking. They always are blocking the aisles there. They really. And at first, I'm straining to figure out: does this man have a speech defect, or is he a fucking Yankee? No, he turns out to be from Norwich, England. Yeah, you go ahead and look it up. It's not spelled the way it's technically it's Norwich, and near Cambridge or whatever. And we had a lovely chat. He's probably waiting to go to work at the Samsung. And we had exchanged we had a kind of a high speed exchange on. He was just betting a buck or something on the lottery, and he has a son that's, as you're required to in Texas, you have to take, if you're in elementary school, you have to take Texas history. So I gave him a key question: ask about the little 10. That's before the 300. And I told him the teacher won't know shit. I gave him a quick rundown on history and stuff like that. It was pleasant. But I was straining because at first his slight flattening of the R's, because he's trying very difficult to say hard R's like we do here in the West. That's what makes us Westerners. Not Westerners. We say hard R's. That's the major linguistic difference between us and the South and New England, is that we say hard R's. So I'm not going to go more. It was my pleasure to meet you, Don, and he realized that I had a very common English name, Kent. And it's just, and I got to tell him that we English are a unique tribe. There's an oxygen isotope in teeth that can tell the forensic scientist, or an anthropologist, exactly where people come from. And yeah, we've been there in the central part of England for at least 1,000 years. That makes us separate from the Anglo-Saxons. We are not Anglo-Saxon. We are a unique tribe, we the English. So I don't think he was even aware of it. And I think the BBC was the first I think the BBC made one of the first documentaries on that. But anyway, in a place that's full of foreigners, it's nice to run into a foreigner who's from your people's native land. And I'm still proud to be a nation birthed by Britain and to speak the English language, which is the dominant language of science all over this planet. That's what I was explaining to him, that in the past, you had to learn to read, write, and publish in a second language for the proliferation of science. That hasn't been a requirement now for almost 35 years because we just completely dominate in science and in what is scientific papers have to be written in is English. You know, it's they've actually had to go back and translate the National Library of Medicine. They've had to translate papers. A lot of it's been all the way back to like 64. That's as far as I know that the National Library of Medicine goes to, 64. So that'll be the end of this. It was my pleasure to meet Don from Norwich, and hope I run into him again sometime. I think he was just passing through. He probably may live here, but he appears to be maybe working at or planning to be working at, or is employed at the new Samsung plant, which isn't going to start actual manufacturing operations until 2025. They're going to be more than a full year late. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now, and at least I got my blood circulated a bit before I get to recline as the last person leaves the clinic now. That's it. That's the last one. I'm sure the door is going to be locked any minute now. And here comes, and he messed with my, that's probably the last hypochondriac of the evening. So I've got to get, actually, it's not as bad, especially getting up and walking, generating some heat. I think it'll be tolerable tonight. Plus, I've got one more blanket than last night. One of them still damp because I didn't grab it in time. Anyway, sorry I haven't been really angry at anybody today. I haven't been tearing up any ass for, to entertain y'all. I'm kind of exhausted from the weather, and it looks like it's going to stay this way for quite a while. And I just hope it's not. If it's as bad as my first winter in Austin, I'm not staying. I'm going someplace warmer. Later.